Hello guys, welcome to the video. Today, I've got a bit of a rant. At the end of 2021, I did a video like this to say that I'd lost my job. At the end of 2022, I did a video like this to say that I'd lost my job. I don't think I did one in 2023. I think I actually got away with doing a positive channel update for the new year that year. And I do plan on still doing one of those as a separate video once we get on top of all the videos we want to do. But today, I want to give you guys a bit of an update in the form of a rant. And it's not a great rant, and it's a much worse rant than it would have been when I was debating whether or not this video was even worth doing. But the situation has progressed very negatively since the initial issue occurred. And essentially, the implication of this whole thing is a huge change on the DSW network social pages, of which some of you might not know. I have a lot of pages that I've set up at different times in my life for different hobbies that have all now been merged into DSW network to promote the content that is relevant to them through their channels, essentially, to their, to the people interested in that. These pages aren't particularly well maintained, and fundamentally, I don't often update a lot of them, and basically they exist because I've never kind of given up on them. Because of my emotional attachments to things, as you might be able to guess from someone that's surrounded by this much crap, I don't like getting rid of social media accounts, because I like being able to look back on them and being like, oh, that was a nice time in my life. This was an interesting thing we were doing, etc. But my faith in the social media platforms, we're talking basically Instagram and Facebook here, my faith in them has been shaken to the core, to an extent where I no longer see the point in sharing casual stuff to the social medias. I kind of only really see it now as a marketing tool and an advertising platform, really, a necessary evil in that regard, because I've just quickly come to realize how little support you can get from Meta from Meta. It's none. There is no support. You can't get in touch with them. There is nothing you can do. But we'll get into the whole thing. I'll start from the original issue. So, late November, there is an account that there was an account for Pokemon, Pokemon Corner it was called, and that goes back to when DSW Network was Action Figure Corner. We had Pokemon Corner, Tabletop Corner, so on and so forth. Everything was going to be a corner leading to the main channel. Then I changed it to DSW Network. That was still called Pokemon Corner. And when it was established, it was the fastest growing page I ever had, Pokemon Corner. And Pokemon is something I, of course, feel a lot of nostalgia for. So it's nice to be able to look back on it and kind of look at whatever was happening, like whether I was playing the card game or playing Pokemon Go or this, that, and the other. I've just had a particular appreciation for a particular Pokemon at a given time. Anything, whatever was going on at the time, it's nice to be able to look back on it. And it had a lot of nice memories in that page. And that was the one that I was kind of most keen about bringing back. Like, there were many, many times where I thought I'm going to start posting on this page again, and maybe posted once or twice and then forgot about it again, and so on and so forth. Most of the others I only really posted on every now and then when they had, like, relevant content. Like, my original hobby Instagram account, which was Tabletop Corner, then Triumphant Games, that literally was just share some trading card game stuff there, and I did think I needed to post more stuff on there, but I have huge nostalgia for that account as well, from back when I was like really into HeroClix and I was sharing like old game battle reports and stuff like that. There's weird things that happened and stuff like that, and it was cool to look back on that. But basically, I've never been too bothered about bringing that account back, but I've always loved Pokemon Corner, including one day in late November where I thought, this is it, this time I'm going to properly bring this back. We're going to do some Pokemon content. We've got plenty that we can share for the time being, just as Instagram posts, and we're going to bring that back. That lasted one evening, to when I logged in the morning, and it says, we have disabled your account due to suspicious activity. No, it wasn't suspicious activity. It was community guidelines. Your content goes against our community guidelines. Is Pokemon against Instagram community guidelines? Of course it fucking isn't. What's against community guidelines is whatever a bot, an automated bot system, has taken a disliking to. So no human involved in flagging the account. It then gives you an option to appeal. And what happens there is the exact same bot then just deactivates your account. You have the option to appeal, and if the appeal is turned down, it's immediately deactivated. And the bot, of course, stuck by its initial decision and took my account down. And there is no way to restore it. There is no way. It's still technically there. I can still log in, and it'll let me log out again. But it would take 4 seconds for a human being to be like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with this. Put your account back together. But it's impossible to get in touch with them. So that was bad enough, and that kind of made me think, like, if this is the case and there just isn't that support there, then what's the point in sharing stuff to look back on? What's the point in sharing stuff you actually care about? You would be better off having that stuff on a platform that you actually have control over. Like, if I set up a DSW network website and did all of the kind of pick-fed stuff on there, anything I would normally share to Instagram that isn't promoting a video, if I was to put that on a website, I would have control over that. I'd have control over the website. You know, it's not just going to suddenly be taken away from me one day. So that's kind of where I was at in the new year. And like I say, there is a lot of social pages that I use as well. And quite frankly, I've been saying to myself for many, many years, I need to be less online anyway. I need to spend less time just endlessly scrolling Facebook when I kind of like, when I'm procrastinating. I need to spend less time just generally dossing about on Instagram, looking for unfollowers, looking for people who've unfollowed me, or, doing whatever, like just scrolling through stuff I just do not care about. I need to spend less time on it anyway. So that really, got flagged up by this whole issue. And of course, you've got the obvious issue as well that I just have too many Instagram accounts. So that's just a cold hard fact. Because they've all been set up at different times and then ended up being still used, but granted very sparingly. But it makes you wonder, what's the point? Like, what is the point? If I could just lose access to this at any time, some bot has just decided it doesn't like my account, it's deleting my account, and there's nothing I can do about it, what's the point? Fast forward to early January, just over a week ago, I woke up and I'd been logged out of my Facebook. And my Facebook was, I realize now that this is not what the actual issue was, but it says your Facebook has been disabled because the Instagram account, which was just a line of gibberish, does not conform to our community guidelines. That makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. But that's not the actual issue. The actual issue is that I was hacked. And this was a bad enough phase on its own. This was a bad enough period on its own. So later on in the day, they got into my Instagram. Later on in the day, they got into my eBay. They got into my PayPal. And I was very lucky that this person was just some idiot who wanted to buy a couple of games for free, basically. Because, as it turns out, in customer service for eBay and PayPal, who are also in the firing line in this story, they would do nothing about it. Because on their end, it looked like I had accessed the purchase. It looked like I'd put the purchases in, right? So we're not talking a lot of money here, but they would do nothing about it. And it's the principle of the thing there. If they'd taken all of the money out of my account, they would still do nothing about it. Okay? So, one regret there is that I didn't just take it to my bank straight away. My bank is still working on it, and I need to start just running to them first rather than trying to rely on people's customer service, which they intentionally don't make useful. And how the scam works is very terrifying that it looked like it came from my account. But a friend of mine who works in IT knows a lot of cybersecurity stuff. He explained that basically if they can get into your accounts, I don't know exactly it, but if they get your details, they can clone the cookies that are programmed into your browser when you sign into something. They can clone that and enter it into their browser, and it looks like it's you, which is pretty frightening. So on eBay, it literally just looked like it was me, and they literally, I went through on the phone, they verified purchases I did make versus purchases I didn't make, and it showed as the same access point for both. So that's pretty frightening. eBay would do nothing about it. I rang them, I did a chat with them and everything. They would not have it. They kept telling me to get in touch with the seller, and the seller was never going to do anything about it. What's the seller? Is the seller going to be nice like me? I actually probably would be like, okay, I believe you. You sent me a message that said, hi, I buy code. And then a perfectly like well-written message saying, yeah, I've been hacked. I'd probably give you the benefit of the doubt, especially if I was just flogging something like digital keys, which is also why eBay wouldn't do anything. I can't actually... The seller messaged me saying, go through eBay. They'll probably, that'll just sort you out. eBay won't do anything about it because it was a digital code, so I can't put a case in against them. And then when I messaged them saying eBay told me to just message you and ask, they of course just ignored me. So then I went back to eBay and I said, they've of course just ignored me, and they said, just keep trying. So that's terrible. And there's a whole nother update on that. Basically, I'm leaving eBay. And that's not necessarily just because of this, which is stupid, but it's not just because of this. It's because of many other negative experiences with eBay over the years, which led to eBay being a necessary evil, which now they've introduced Vinted Pro, God knows when, because definitely when I looked it up earlier last year, it was definitely not for commercial selling. Vinted Pro now exists, so I'm moving to Vinted. That's that, top and bottom. Many negative experiences on eBay, I'm leaving eBay, top and bottom. Okay, so there's a whole little bit more about that later. In the time it took PayPal to reply to the whole thing, I'd already been in chat with eBay for ages and then left and then did a chat with my bank instead and escalated it to them. So I only got one message from PayPal that I really saw. I gave them all the same information. I told them everything that happened. I told them what eBay had said, that it had been accessed by someone else, but it was definitely not me. And I couldn't find this on eBay, but I could find on PayPal a login that was not me. A Windows 10 PC accessed my account. That's not me. This computer behind me is a computer on Windows 10. I was not in this house. I was at my girlfriend's the whole time this thing was going on. So that was not me. That was not my login. But when I actually did get a reply, and I read it for some reason, even though I'd already escalated it to my bank, so I was wasting my own time, they said, yeah, we can see you purchased this, so we can't do anything about that. But we're still keen to get your money back. So did you receive the service? Did you receive the item? And I'm like, no, because I didn't buy it. Some gimmer somewhere around the world has got it. Like, no, I haven't received this item because it wasn't me who bought it. That's exactly what I've just told you. And you're saying that I can't, there is no proof that it wasn't me? Well, no, you're not saying there's no proof it wasn't me. You're saying it was me. They were directly saying it was me. They know for a fact, in their opinion, that it was me who bought this item. It's literally a suspicious login on my account. What are you talking about? And one thing I'm really wondering through the whole thing here is where two-factor authentication is in the whole thing, because quite frankly, I know that there's the cookie thing, so it says it looks as though it's me that's logging in, but if it's a different device, surely something should still flag. That kind of just makes me think that two-factor is not all that helpful, because it's obviously not flagged up on any of these. The only thing I didn't have it on was eBay, which is bizarre. I don't know why. Definitely got away with them not getting into my eBay, but yeah. Anyway, so the summary, the crux, the outcome of the whole thing is the money stuff is still pending with my bank. I got back into my main Instagram account eventually. How did I do that? By basically, oh God. Basically, the automated systems that you can use, the tools you can use to recover your account, one of them finally started working. That's how I did it. So I did a verification method where you get two friends to log in and confirm the verification. They don't receive it. I googled that straight after, and yeah, nobody online actually gets it. So then you wait 2 days to try again. For what purpose, I don't know. Again, it's just another thing that Instagram, that Meta in general, offer you to recover your account that doesn't work. However, once that finally did expire, I did the video verification where you upload a selfie video. I thought that wasn't going to work for multiple different stages, but it actually did, and it was very quick once it did. Changed the email on my account. Obviously, passwords are changed for everything. 2 factors on everything that it wasn't. I've also deleted my cards, like my saved cards from Google, just in case. And obviously in future we'll keep an eye on this. We'll make sure we use different passwords for everything. Thankfully, I've come up with a password sort of system that works for me, to remember which platform like it is. Basically, like to remember what each different password is on every different system. There's an easy method I've thought of. So that's cool. That being said, I'm not beyond like just having a paper case of all my passwords at this point, because there's much less chance of anyone using that for anything than, you know, me just being hacked again. Because quite frankly, this is not the first time I've been hacked. I don't even think this is the second time I've been hacked. My PlayStation got hacked once, literally from the gamer tag. That's never happened again. That was a much easier process. They were much more helpful, refunding everything, console banning the person who did it. You know, that was a good experience, as annoying as it was. But yeah, like, obviously, for someone that I do take cybersecurity pretty seriously, but it just kind of keeps happening to me. It's very frustrating. Yeah, I couldn't specifically remember another time, but I feel like something's been hacked at some point. But yeah, I'm back into Instagram. I've changed all the passwords, changed emails. The money is being disputed with my bank now, and my Facebook is still locked. If I log in, it says your Facebook has been disabled. You have so many days. You have so many days to appeal this decision. And there is no option to appeal it. Not that I would want to, because it's just going to be the same bots that deactivate my Instagram account. But getting in touch with a human being to actually say, look, this is stupid, sort it out, is impossible. So I still don't have much of an idea what I'm going to do there. Thankfully, you know, I've talked about these emotional attachments and everything that I have to things, and I'm not that bothered if I lose the account. Which is huge emotional growth for me. I'm definitely more wound up about how bad the support is from these platforms. Absolutely disgraceful. Because it doesn't matter to them. It just does not. They do not give one solitary shit. The average person would not care this long. They'd have just made a new account and moved on. I have actually, after the first day or two, I actually have never felt the need to set up a new account. So I'm going to do that so I can just be in touch with people. And I will try and get back into my Facebook at some stage, and hopefully somewhere in the next half a year, maybe they'll actually introduce something that works, that lets you kind of get your account back. But until then, I'll be honest, I've just been trying not to think about it. We got the Instagram back, we got the money disputed, and I kind of felt like from there it was like, right, just leave it, make a new account if we feel like we need to talk to people. We've been getting on fine so far, actually doing some work, and of course, like I said, I need to be less chronically online anyway. So basically, the crux of this video is, at least for the time being, until I stop throwing a wobbler about it, the human element of the DSW network social pages is going. So I'm basically going to continue the use of my music page and the DSW network Instagram page, but the DSW network Instagram page is only going to be there to promote videos. And I'm going to create a website or something that I have control of, that people that care the most can go and check out for updates for DSW Network and stuff like that. But that being said, YouTube is now the best place to kind of keep up with me, because this is going to be the only real place where, you know, you can engage with my personality. You can observe my personality, which I know for some reason people like. So yeah, there will probably be a website to follow where I'll, you know, post new figures and stuff like that. All that kind of stuff is not going to be on the Instagram anymore, like I say, at least until I stop throwing a wobbler about it. TikTok's still going to be a thing. I actually suspiciously got a lot more interested in TikTok when I got locked out of everything else. It's still not really taken off with me, but yeah, it's for the time being, that's fine. I think TikTok actually does have support, so that's a lot in its favor. Even though you come across so many deleted accounts on TikTok, it's crazy. Twitter was always out. My Blue Sky Music page is going to continue. The Disaster Figs Instagram page is going to continue. The Disaster Figs and DSW Network Facebook pages will continue as well, but again, I'm not keeping track of anything that I would have an attachment to. There'll be nothing human on them. Disaster Figs Facebook page, of course, will have a lot of stuff about Vinted coming up as well when we start using that properly. So the tabletop Triumphant Games page is not going to be used anymore. Disaster Garage is not going to be used anymore, and my other pages I won't that I don't use anymore. Like there was one that was Ginger Gandalf, which was like general lifestyle video games and stuff like that. That I just left a few years ago, and that's never going to come back now. Anything like that, I'm literally stripping down to music and wrestling figures for marketing only, and Disaster Figs, I guess, for marketing only. And YouTube is now officially the best place to follow me, which is ironic because people lose access to their YouTubes all the time. People get demonetized. People get their account deleted for copyright strikes they don't deserve. YouTube notoriously can throw up obstacles for people, which is another thing that I would bring up. Ironically, considering I'm talking about deleting, or not deleting, but not using any of these platforms anymore. It's always good to have at least two forms of contact with people that you enjoy, especially content creators that are smaller, so you don't lose track of them. If you lose them on one, you can find them on the other. Because, if the YouTube channel went down one day, you might go and look at the Instagram page and be like, right, there we go. That's what's happened there. We can get back online that way. Again, with YouTube, I was looking at Patreon as well, but this is their gimmick. I thought I'd look for the sake of it, but there is no free tier on Patreon, which I thought was a bit of a shame. Considering I was just going to use it as a backup to YouTube, and then, if people want to pay like $1 a month subscription or something like that, then they can do, and I'll try and catch up with everything I want to do so that you can get some extra content, stuff like that. And obviously we just put some human updates on there and stuff like that to keep people engaged. But yeah, it's a whole mess, and I don't entirely have it all worked out at the moment. But yeah, I'm just going to be stripping everything right back on the social media front, and it's going to be less social. It's going to be more marketing. So yeah, really doom and gloom update for the people that do enjoy following me on Instagram. And I know there's a lot of people I speak to on Instagram, and I appreciate having that connection, but I can talk to you anywhere, and I really, really don't want to support this. I don't think we should. We shouldn't have to. Well, that goes without saying. But I really don't think there is any purpose in me continuing with what I am doing, just to have it taken away eventually anyway. And, I spend a lot of time thinking of what I can post on the social pages and all that stuff. And then that thinking time could just be spent putting stuff on the channel where it's actually supposed to be. But anyway, guys, thank you for joining me with this one. It's good to finally get it off the chest and explain it all to everyone. And in the description below, you will have the pages where you can still find me, and obviously I'll keep updating people as we go along with whether there's a website coming or whether there's anything like that. And I know it's a bit more inconvenient, but if you really care about seeing like what I've been up to and all that kind of stuff, and maybe it's been a while, you can just pop over to the website and read it all in one go and just catch up that way. I'm really not happy about this, guys. I'm really not, and I don't think this can change either, because I feel like, if I commit to like Blue Sky or something, then like in a year's time, they take Blue Sky down. If it doesn't work, they give up on it. It's gone anywhere. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's all about kind of trying to actually keep a hold of what I post and where and stuff like that. It's a mess. It would be such an easy fix if it even mattered in the slightest to them, but it doesn't. So I just appreciate you guys' support for everything. As I say, we'll do a cheery New Year video at some point. I appreciate everybody's following, etc. I appreciate all the love you guys have given me. And I'll keep you informed with what's going to happen with this going forward. And I really do appreciate you getting this far in the video because it's going to be great for watch time. You know how it goes. I don't really need to do my usual sign off. So just thanks for watching and goodbye.